What Chelsea say, these allegations predate the club's current ownership, and they're based on documents which the club has not been shown, and they don't relate to any individual who's presently at the club, which is all pretty fair, I would think. I mean, it may be very difficult for Chelsea to know about payment from Abramovich-owned company to agent of Eden Hazard, for instance, if it's all totally off the books, and really we only know about it by dint of leaked documents from Cyprus. I mean, unlike, say, Man City, who can really give a thorough explanation for any of the allegations against them, it may genuinely, as much as I want to be sceptical here, it may genuinely be very difficult for Chelsea FC in 2023 to say, yeah, we can tell you exactly what happened here.
Yeah, look, I think that's fair. But at the same time, when you buy an asset for whatever it is, multiple billions of pounds, you do your due diligence to find out what skeletons there might be lurking in the closet. And ultimately, it's buyer beware, right? If there are some skeletons you don't find, unfortunately, mate, that's on you when you have the asset. If I buy a house and I don't realise it's got subsidence, no one's going to come and pay for it to be underpinned now that I own the house, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
If the metaphor makes any sense at all. As we know, they set aside some money to cover potential regulatory breaches. They knew this was potentially an issue. And the fact that it's under new ownership shouldn't, assuming the Premier League finds that they have breached these rules, shouldn't mean that they escape any punishment. Ultimately, the club is an entity before and after the change of ownership. And, if it is determined that they broke the rules, well, I would say it's extremely unlikely that they're going to have trophies and titles retrospectively stripped away from them. So any punishment, if that's the case, any punishment can only happen to the present club under the present regime. And that's unfortunate, but it's kind of inescapable. I don't know how else one approaches that.
No, it's true. You probably answered one of the questions I would be asking, which was what potential punishments are going to be. So you think the taking away of trophies is extremely unlikely?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not an expert in this area. I'm a business reporter, not a sports reporter primarily. But I think the reason why I think retrospective punishment is unlikely is because it may cause more headaches than problems it solves. I mean, if you say, for instance, that, Chelsea's sporting achievements should be taken away from them, well, does that mean that a club that finished fifth in a year that Chelsea finished fourth should now have qualified for the Champions League? Well, they missed out on a huge amount of money by not doing that. Do they now sue Chelsea? Do they now sue the Premier League for not having noticed this earlier? Are they now entitled to funds that they didn't have? If so, how much? I mean, is the runner-up in the Champions League when Chelsea beat Bayern Munich or beat Manchester City, are those clubs now awarded Champions League titles? I just can't see any of that happening. So I suspect we're looking at potentially significant financial penalties or sporting penalties, which could be expulsion from some sort of competition or points deductions, depending on the seriousness of the offence.
Yes.